Hello, and welcome to Not Too Shabby, the Chimney Corners Camp podcast, featuring camp directors Shannon Donovan Monty and Abbott Pittman. In each episode of this podcast, Shannon and Abbott will share crazy camp stories, let you in on some camp secrets, tips, and tricks, talk about life at Chimney, and even pull the curtain back on how camp runs from behind the scenes. From staffing to activity planning to the friendships we make along the way, join us twice a month for your camp fix.
All right. Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Abby.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I love the formalities. You have to get them out of the way.
I know.
Was it the word formality? What is the word I'm looking for?
I think formality.
Nicety.
Well, you don't want people to have the impression that we're rude to each other.
Oh, that would be incorrect.
Right, because we're always just so cordial.
Right.
And polite.
Right.
And we just say nice things all
And I've
day.
never been mean to you.
And I've never been mean to you.
But you love it. You love it. You like when people are mean to you. You think it's funny.
I feel like that's that, like, you know, when they tell you that a boy likes you because he hits you. Which is not, by the way, commercial. Or, oh no, pro tip.
Pro tip.
It does not mean that a boy likes you.
It means that a boy is getting away with bad behavior and people are making excuses for it. And we don't tolerate that.
We do not.
We don't tolerate that.
And we don't like to hear about girls hitting other people either.
We don't like to hear about hitting. We're taking hitting off the table. It's 2026. We've canceled hitting. Hitting is done. Shannon, we are coming up on, not this week, but next week. So today is Wednesday, January 21st, 2026, which means you guys, the reader, the listener, will probably hear this maybe this weekend. It depends on how fast. It depends on how much Shannon says because that will dictate how long it takes me to edit it. Lock in, Shannon. Lock in. This coming week is Camp Week.
Awesome.
Do you know what Camp Week is, Shannon?
I do.
Well, can you enlighten us?
Yes. Well, it's this new invention that we came up with last year. It's a week where we promote camp and we ask our friends and our campers to tell their friends about all the cool opportunities at camp, because I don't think people realize how much we count on them to spread the word about camp.
Yeah, I mean, historically, Chimney and Beckett have always kind of been a word of mouth camp. We haven't done like advertisements. I know we haven't done a lot of camp fairs. We'll do them occasionally, but.
Right. Like, has anybody ever seen like Chimney Corners Super Bowl ad? No.
Or a billboard? You ever seen a Chimney Corners billboard? It would have your face on it.
No billboard.
Shannon, it would just be your face.
No, we fill our camps based on word of mouth.
Entirely. And so in this very digital age, we find that it'd be kind of cool if we asked our constituents, if you will, to go out and actually speak to people about camp and spread the word.
Yes. Yeah. And so one thing, even though we're really lucky, people come to our camp and they want to come back, and they come back year after year, and that's awesome. But
80% return rate.
Yeah. But every year, a bunch of people graduate and move on to travel and service programs, AIDS program, all of that. So it means that we have to replace a certain amount of campers every year. And last year in particular, Chimney had a big graduating class, which is super exciting because we get to all stand up in front and give you pins and just tell you how awesome you are, which you are awesome. But it also means that we got to get extra busy to spread the word about camp.
Exactly, because we have, how many graduating campers do they had? Over 70. We had a lot.
A lot.
It was like 40 each session. So yeah.
Right.
That's 80.
And there's just the natural, people make other plans, or they're traveling or doing
campers
things like
go,
that.
I have to get a job, or we're going to visit grandma in Sweden, or whatever it is. I haven't heard that excuse yet, but it's a good one.
We've heard some really good ones through the years.
I've heard some good ones. So what we are asking, you guys to do, our dear listeners, is to talk about camp. And so if you're enrolled for next year, you by now have received a packet, which will include some information that will, like, buttons, some handouts, just stuff you can give your friends, stickers, stuff you can give to your friends and peers and people around you. And so, you just go and give that stuff out and talk about camp. That's how Chimney fills. That's how we get more incredible campers to feel the magic of this place is you guys talking about camp.
Abby, what do you think are some of the reasons people like don't tell other people about camp?
I was just talking about this, Shannon. You know what I hear a lot is campers who are like, I'm my authentic self at camp, and I don't want to bring in an outside friend from like school or sports or clubs, because then I kind of have to perform a little bit more as a different person, the kind of person I would be in that club, in that sport, in that school. So kids are wary of that, and that's really fair. Like we have consistently hit marks on engaging authentically. I think that's probably the biggest thing camp, outside of friendships, outside of values. One of the biggest things that kids get out of Chimney is being able to be themselves 100%. And it can be scary to bring in somebody from your other personality to camp. But Shannon, you had some strategies maybe.
Yeah. First, a little aside, it's so great to have lots of different circles. It's great that you have your camp friends and your school friends and your sport friends. That's really important. And I know sometimes it is scary to have your worlds collide.
Yes.
They used to say that on Seinfeld. My worlds are colliding.
That's just a thing people say. I don't think that's Seinfeld specific.
It was on there, though. It was an episode.
Okay.
But I think what we don't realize is we can have both things can be true. We can share our camp with somebody, but we can also set healthy boundaries coming into camp. So this is also advice for anybody who's coming to camp with a friend. Have a conversation before you come about expectations. You know, if you want to be in your own cabin separate from school friends, let them know, and just tell them it's not about not being their best friend or not wanting to be there for them. It's just about having healthy space and having the ability for both of you to branch out, because what's better than just making your circle bigger?
Exactly. And having a little overlap. And then it's fun, like, to talk to your friends in the off season and be like, oh my gosh, remember this from camp? Remember this from camp? Look, you made me this bracelet, all of that. And Shannon, you also kind of had a good idea about sessions.
Yes. Yeah. So other things you could do is you can tell people about the alternate session, you know, so you don't necessarily have to come the same session. You can also remember that people in your life that are younger than you or older than you, and remember that there's some distance between ages and things like that. You know, maybe you have a cousin or your brother's friends, or, you know, people like that who maybe you didn't think to ask them if they're interested in camp or if they want to learn more. And I know it can be kind of scary to suggest those kind of conversations with people, but there's a couple things. One, it helps us a lot, and we really, really appreciate it. And if you get them to call us, we'll do the hard work of really explaining the program.
Exactly. And so all of that to say, we are coming up on camp week, and it's time to start talking to your peers. And we've provided you with some like good options for how to, you know, create space or go to different sessions, or, you know, the world's colliding thing. So camp week, and you have gotten a packet. You're going to talk to your friends, but we also have some stuff going on online.
Yeah.
On the World Wide Web. You ever been there, Shannon?
I avoid it at all costs, as you know.
So here is the breakdown of next week, of the coming week. It's January 26th. We start with Memory Monday. So you don't have to do this on social media if you don't want to. You can do it just with your friends, or maybe there's a platform at school for you to share. I remember there was times in school where like I would have to stand up and talk about my weekend or talk about a memory or something like that.
Oh.
It was for practicing public speaking, I now realize, but I was in second grade, so how would I have known that? So that's a great opportunity for you to share a camp memory. So you can do it on social media, like I said. You can post on your TikTok. You can post on your Instagram. You just tell people about a camp memory that makes you smile.
Oh,
Shannon, do you have
I
one?
love that. That's such a cool idea.
Shannon, tell me yours. What would yours be?
A camp memory that makes me smile?
Yeah.
Give me a minute. Come back to me.
Okay, I'll do mine. Just one that comes to mind immediately is when we play at the dining hall disco, like the song that we play to clear. And sometimes dining hall disco gets a little out of hand, and it's like everyone's on their feet and we're all screaming. But this last year, because Wicked had just come out, we were all screaming to shoot, what is that song called? It's so embarrassing.
Defying Gravity.
Defying Gravity. Why do you know that you've never even seen Wicked?
I saw it on Broadway.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, all the kids screaming to Defying Gravity, and just like everyone's red in the face, bellowing. Everyone's on their feet. It's so much fun to watch. It's just like we all come together and it makes me smile. I know that we can't do it every day and everyone's always like, put this banger on. I'm like, I'm not putting a banger on for every meal. Like sometimes you do just need to clear and go to your next thing.
What's a banger?
A great song is called a banger.
Got it.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's always really fun to watch every now and then.
Well, you've completely inspired me.
Let's hear it.
Like from sharing your memory, you reminded me of a couple really good memories.
Okay.
And one is similar. A few years back, we used to do something called like a silent meal, which does not sound fun, but weirdly it is, because you basically, the staff would put paper and crayons and on all the tables, and we would play music, and people would see how long they could go without talking or finding alternate ways to communicate. Well, one of these, I don't know, there was some just like kind of magic vibe going on because people just started dancing and hugging and smiling. And it just was so cool. It was just like chimney magic magnified. And I remember just thinking, what an awesome place this is, that this is kind of how people are. And then my second one.
Let's hear it.
This is like an almost complete opposite. We used to do these greased watermelon competitions between the staff.
Hearing about those.
And people who were relatively mild-mannered in their life in a competitive, and we didn't have a ton of competitive things with staff, but it was the most intense, fierce competition to the point where like I had to push it later in the summer because somebody would inevitably get hurt because we were so fierce. At one point, there was a counselor choking another counselor.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, no. But it was weirdly, I know it sounds terrible and it sounds like mayhem, but to see talking about authentic self, seeing this fierce but fun made me love the people around me like 10 times more. And it's a reminder that, things are counterintuitive. It means like sometimes, doing things like that, you think, oh, it's going to make us not get along. And yet actually it brings you together so much more.
I love that. Bring back greased watermelon.
Maybe. Yes. Yeah. I mean, definitely fun.
For the staff who are listening, who always ask about it, see how I just tried? Okay.
Yes.
I'm with you though. We don't need to hurt staff at summer camp. That's not conducive.
I feel like half the reason I have bad knees is greased watermelon.
You played?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It was fun.
Oh my gosh. So those are your memories for Memory Monday.
Yes.
So see how like quick and easy it is to conjure up a memory of a special moment at Chimney. There's so many of them. So we encourage you to do just that. And if you want, you can tag Chimney Corners. You can use the hashtags #AskMeAboutCamp and #ChimneyCampWeek. I'm not sure if people are still using hashtags, to be honest, but what are you going to do? And we might repost yours if we think it's awesome. So
what about reels? What are reels? And should they use them?
Yeah, that's a good question, Shannon, because you're not on social media. A reel is like a video on Instagram or Facebook. So TikToks, I don't know what they're called on TikToks, but on Instagram they're called reels. So if you want to post a video or a TikTok, that's awesome too. We'd love to see it. We'll repost it if it's good, and I'm sure it'll be good. Tuesday, Shannon, do you want to guess what Tuesday is? What rhymes? No. What's an alliteration for
T-shirt?
T-shirt. T-shirt Tuesday. Oh, this is the day we ask you to go to camp. Go to school, work, wherever, sports, whatever you do, wearing your camp shirt. So maybe it's cold out, which it's going to be like 0 degrees all week here in Beckett. So maybe it's a sweatshirt or one of our really cool Letterman jackets. But we ask that you just wear your camp shirt, take a picture, put it on social media, make a reel or a TikTok, tag us, and we might repost it. Shannon, are you going to wear a camp shirt? Although famously, Shannon, you never wear a camp shirt.
I know, I will.
Do you have one?
Well, I mean, look, I'm wearing a graphic tee. I know
that is weird that you're wearing a graphic tee.
I know.
I've never seen you wear a graphic tee.
I have too. But I will wear a camp T-shirt on Tuesday, and maybe we'll even take a picture.
That would be huge.
I have to tell you, like mid-break commercial interruption. The staff up here at camp have some really cool ideas and things that they're going to be sharing through the week that you are going to find to be hilarious.
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 Okay, that's true. We're gonna do some silly stuff, especially with our frozen lake.
But secret.
Secret
We
silly
don't want
stuff
to.
with our
We don't
frozen
want to.
lake.
But
We're gonna put Jules in the
stay
frozen lake.
tuned because it's going to be good.
It's gonna be hilarious.
And we're also going to celebrate every time we talk to a new family, we sign up a new camper. We will let you know that you're making a big difference for all of us. So.
We sure will. And Shannon, I can't wait to see you wear your camp T-shirt. Every year that we've done ad staff merch, except for this last year, I always got you something, but I've never seen you wear it, so I stopped getting them for you.
I know. I'm terrible. I'm
No,
terrible.
It's not your favorite. You got your own style.
I don't
You're
know
not
what
gonna wear
that's
a camp
about.
merch item. Not for you.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
anyway,
Back to camp week.
back to camp week. So Wednesday. This one's a little funky. It's called Wisdom Wednesday.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like share or demonstrate a camp value or share about a camp value. So I think maybe you could talk about, like, you brought agape to camp.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of people know that. You kind of set our values.
I did. That's part of the advantage of staying in one place for a really long time is that you get to
Make stuff
and what
up.
I don't think that I created these things. I think I was inspired by our community to state these things because I think they were things that were already our values, things we were already practicing. And it's kind of cool how the different things came up. But agape comes from a Martin Luther King speech where he talks about different ways, different types of love. And, there's romantic love and love of friendship. But agape is the highest love, which means that we hold all humanity in our heart, that we work toward showing love toward all people. And I'm a little emotional because it's so important right now. It's like, it's so easy to turn to hate or to anger. And if we're going to transcend some of the bad things, it takes a lot of practice of not stooping down and being hateful, but trying to find the commonality, seek to understand. This drives Bridget, my daughter, crazy. I am the worst devil's advocate. And it's partly because, like,
seeking to
anything, I do want to try to understand others' opinions. It doesn't mean that I'm on their side. It just means I have found it's good for me to figure out, at least try to empathize why somebody does what they do.
Exactly. And not to derail, but sometimes when you play devil's advocate, it really makes me think about my opinion on something. I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe I don't actually need to be mad about that. That's because of this. So it actually is helpful to offer a little bit of perspective. Not all the time, but sometimes.
See, Bridget, it's a good thing.
Because she's definitely listening to your podcast. So that's so cool that you brought agape to Chimney, and well, you didn't bring the concept of it. You put a name to it, and it is a really beautiful value. It's not my favorite value, though.
Oh, what's your favorite? What's your favorite value?
Open circle.
Oh, absolutely.
I love it. Which I think it ties really closely to it. It's the same idea. It's you're welcome as you are, love people as they are, and always make space for people. And I've always felt really strongly that it's not as simple as just making the space as it is pulling people into that space, because it's easy to make a space. Literally, if you think about a group of people in a horseshoe shape in a circle with a space, somebody could walk and join, but that's scary. It's much easier if you grab that person, not physically, but to pull them in, usher them in.
Pull them in.
I love open circle.
And that's been here for a really, really long time. Not always overtly expressed, but I mean, it's the name of our amphitheater. Yeah.
Amphitheater?
Ampafampa.
How? Okay.
Our fire circle. Yeah, and I know it was really important to Gene Schellenberger. One of our earlier logos had like a birch branch that came through the circle. And again, I think it was always wanting to symbolize that there's always room to include. And including centrally important to us because it's why we love Chimney. And
Exactly.
we all have to, again, it's one of those things that we have to work at, inviting people in, making people feel part of what's going on.
And I think we do a really good job of that. It's one of the, again, why we're able to have a space where you can engage authentically.
Absolutely.
Goes right back to that.
Yes.
Maybe our new value will be engage authentically. Add another value to that.
Sounds great.
Let's just keep adding.
Let's do it.
All right. So Thursday. For Thursday, we asked that you guys post a photo from summer at camp. So maybe you get it from our smug mug, or maybe you took a picture with a disposable camera or a digital camera that you brought, or maybe you're a camp counselor and you took pictures with your friends on time off or when there were no kids around. And we just asked that you post that for Throwback Thursday. So Shannon, if you could think of a picture, maybe it doesn't actually exist, but if you could think of a moment in time that a picture would be perfect for this for you, do you have one? What is it?
Well, I actually have the picture.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I should post it maybe. But there's a picture of Bridget and I at chapel, and we just look really happy and together. And
how old was she?
She was like an older teen or young adult. It was actually, I think she was back visiting.
Okay, not a camper or a staff member.
Not a camper. There's other pictures where we're together when she's a camper that I also. It's funny. I think I always like how I look in pictures with dogs and with my daughter. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm happy. I'm like the most happy.
That's sweet.
Yeah, or maybe my most authentic self.
Wow, engage authentically.
Yes,
that's beautiful. So
how about you? Do you have a picture that comes to mind?
There's a picture of, you mentioned chapel. There's a picture of me in 2022, like leaning over the podium telling a story. Oh. And it kind of brings me back to like, I remember the very first story that I told at chapel. I'd never been to chapel. I didn't know where to start. And I told this story about how the beginning of civilization started with finding somebody who had a broken femur. Oh, like it wasn't, when historians look back on beginning of time and what civilization was and what humanity is, it's not looking back at like, the buildings that we built or the finding the bones of hunter-gatherers scattered about. It was finding somebody who had a broken in their femur and it had healed, which meant people took care of them.
I don't remember the particulars of the story, but I remember when you told a story, I'm like, oh my God, what a good storyteller. Like I was so immediately impressed. Like it was inspired and it was just well told. And I was so excited about that. And
well, if someday be as good as you, maybe, but that means a lot coming from the best storyteller in the world. Everyone talks about it. Everyone's talking about it. But that would be my throwback picture, me in 2022.
Hanging over
with
the
my
podium.
buzz cut hanging over the podium.
And that was your
first
first summer.
Yeah. And I remember you were so kind afterward. You were like, that was perfect. Like you got it. You understood what chapel was about. I was like, thank goodness, because it was just freewheeling.
No, it was so awesome. And that's that moment where you're like, oh yeah, this was a good decision.
Me, the personality hire, as I like to call myself. And then Friday is Friendship Friday. So we're asking you to share a photo or a story of a camp friendship. And I know you have so many of them. I think you just talked to a camp friend today. We were in a meeting and you got a call from her. Is that right?
Oh, yes. Sorry.
And you were like, oh, I didn't want to miss that. I'll call her back. So I know you have a million camp friendships, but do you want to like maybe tell me about a photo or a story about a camp friendship that's important to you?
And then you'll tell me, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what comes to mind is when I was a kid, I went to camp with a girl named Nicole Covert, who was my best friend. And she really got me to go to camp. And she got me to go to an all-girls camp, which is such a gift.
The Campfire Girl Camp.
The Campfire Girl Camp. And because I live too far away from Chimney Corners to know about it, but it's pretty close. Like there was some of the same elements, and I'm just so thankful to her as a friend. And that's a funny thing coming full circle. We were school friends and best friends, which is, it's complicated, and we definitely had our ups and downs, but the camp thing gave us that extra something, that extra shared experience, so I'm very thankful to her for bringing me to camp. I mean, it changed my life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it fully changed your life.
No question. It changed
It's your
my life.
career.
Yes. Yeah.
That's so cool. Do you still talk to her?
Yes. Once in a while
Okay.
we do.
That's
But yeah, she's an important friend. How about you?
It's a great question. You know, it brings me back to a memory that I had over New Year's when I was in New York City this last New Year's, and I was seeing a couple of camp friends. So like Marin and Helen, who were the aid instructors last year. They made some kind of joke. They're like, "We're probably your favorite ad staff," or something like that. And I was like, I'm not going to make an assessment about who my favorite ad staff is. It's not fair. And she was like, well, if you think about it, you know, the ad staff are always going to stay the same age. They're going to be 21, 22, and you're not going to be 33 next year. You're going to be 34.
Which will make such a difference.
Thanks for the reminder. And you'll progressively have a wider gap between your ad staff and yourself. And I was like, that's a really good point. I didn't think about that. Like right now, I am the youngest, like comparatively with this ad staff that I'm ever going to be again. And so it really like put that into perspective that I've been really lucky to have this amazing group of like the first couple ad staffs that we've had. They've just been really wonderful, and they are lifelong friends. Like I can't go into the city of New York, for example, without getting texts from them. Like I can see you're in the city. Like they have my location, of course. I'm like, on the iPhone, and they're like, what are you doing? Why did you not text me or go to Boston or anything like that? They come to all of our events. They're still so involved in camp, and I could see them for many years in the future being that group of people. And it's so nice to have gone from employees to like friends. Like we are now friends, and I can say that accurately. And I know you feel that way with your first couple ad staffs too. I've seen you interact with them.
I know. You can't. It's so funny that you said that, because that brings back a really strong memory. And I think, again, probably the classic is Aisha, who was actually not on my first ad staffs, but Sarah Tyler was in that mix. And but Aisha was one of the first people I met and really connected with, and had found somebody who had a really common sense of humor. And those generations of ad staff, to me, like, again, I was close enough. I mean, I was obviously much older than them in some ways, but we we had some, they were good friends, and you still have that. And I do remember there was a point where I realized that the ad staff were really actually young enough to be my kids. Like,
holy cow.
Like I was more friends with, like I was friends with their parents, and that was a shift for me. It was different. And and that's an interesting thing as we evolve. And I think it happens to campers and staff too, that as you age, as you progress, things shift and change. Like people who used to be the counselors you looked up to suddenly are your coworkers, but that's cool. The evolution of relationships. And I have to occupy a completely different space. And I acknowledge that, you know, I can't keep up with the age group now, but I can fill a different space and, you know, and step aside so you can occupy the space more fully.
For now. Until I'm 34, apparently. That's the oldest I'll ever be in my life.
No, I feel like I still, like, you know, into my 40s still kind of felt in the mix.
All right, that's comforting. A couple more years.
50s, 60s. I'm just, but I'm very immature, so.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous and not true. So those are our camp week prompts and the ones that we want y'all to answer for us. And so we've got on our social media right now, we've got them posted. They're on the stories. They'll be posted on the grids in the next couple of days. But we ask that you participate. We ask that you share camp with the people around you. And if you're scared of them coming to camp when you're at camp, tell them about a different session. If you want to be authentic and just your camp self, be in a different cabin. But what's so important is that we're sharing more of Chimney Corners with the world, because we want people like chimney campers in this world. If everyone could be like a Chimney Corners camper, this world would be fixed.
Right. And if you have boys in your life that you think could benefit from,
I forgot about that.
Camp Beckett, it's the same thing. Because again, Camp Beckett's an amazing camp and a great opportunity for your friends who are identify male. So
exactly.
It's a cool thing. Can I do 2 little commercials?
Do them.
Okay. So Sunday, this Sunday. If this podcast is out by this Sunday, which
it will be,
I'm sure it will be. I'm going to be in Brooklyn at the Berkeley Carroll School at a camp fair. If anybody wants to stop in and say hello, Shannon, and so that's exciting. The other thing is, if you know a person who's a nurse or a doctor or and is interested in spending some time at camp, we do have some kind of cool new positions. People who do that actually, like, so say that your parent or your grown cousin is a nurse or something like
your
that.
Your grown cousin.
Yeah. Not only can they come and live at camp and be a part of what's going on, they can also send their kids to camp, and that's all included. So tell friends. We're going to get those jobs posted out. So tell people you know.
Tell people you know. We'd love to have them. Thank you so much for joining us here in our first episode of the new year. And we really look forward to seeing what you guys have to show us during Camp Week.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, that's it for now, Shannon.
Bye.
Bye.